iFanboy at the San Diego Comic-Con 2012 is brought to you by Seagate. Excellent. So we are here celebrating the release of Jiro, your graphic novel. So we spoke on our podcast, iFanboy Don't Miss. But for those who didn't hear it, what is the origins of Jiro?
I guess it all started a conversation, an ongoing conversation that Joel and I have been having for like 20 years along the lines of, wouldn't it be cool to do a comic together? Yeah. And then we started thinking about a character, and obviously if something food-related was not a stretch for me, and character first and plot later.
Yeah. Tony had the idea, and it was solid in his head right from the start when he first explained to me what he wanted to do. Yeah. But we met all these years ago because Tony sent me a comic that he was working. I had a little literary magazine, of just on the Lower East Side, and he sent me out of the blue this stuff, and then we just hooked up right from the start.
So you had drawn your own comics?
It was my hope as a young man I wanted to be an underground cartoonist. I mean, I was a collector and fanboy from really early on, from like early 60s on, and my little head exploded when the undergrounds came out, and that's what I wanted to do with my life. Unfortunately, my illustration talents did not live up to the standards of the people I admired.
So it must be pretty cool to now have your own graphic novel, though, to actually get one done.
It's a little boy's dream come true, and I got to say, I think what made it for both of us is Langdon Foss's artwork in this book is so beautiful and so precise and so far beyond anything we could have hoped for. The whole weight of the book, succeeding or failing, I think, rested on his shoulders, and man, he came through. I mean, I look at this thing, when I got my first copy, I was just standing there looking at it and smelling it alternately and thinking, man, that's good.
Yeah. but not only is his art so great, but his storytelling's fantastic. I worked for DC all these years ago, and the great privilege of it for me was getting to work with storytellers who were different. I work with words, who worked with image. But Langdon brought not only image, but he brought insight into every panel. And as detailed as I was in my panel description, he was bringing so much more, plus his sense of humor, which was spot on.
Cool. So as far as the writing process goes, I mean, you've published several books, and both nonfiction and fiction, and you write for TV. How was the comic writing experience for you?
Well, for me, I other than a tiny little collaborative effort I'd done with Harvey Pekar years ago, I had no experience actually writing a comic from beginning to end. So for me, I just fell back on what I do for the TV series for Treme. I wrote like a rough film script, and like on Treme, I pass it along to other people who know what they're doing, who take it from there. So for me, it was I looked at it like writing a film script or a dramatic script. Very rough, but some stuff precise, lots of blank spaces, presenting a set of problems for other people better at this job than me to deal with. So it's a constant back and forth, to get through for me.
But it was actually more complete than Tony gives himself credit for, because the story, he was very clear about the story from the beginning. So, and then he just fits, he just would write out these great scenes that you could easily string together. And then every time I needed something to fill in, I would just email him, and like 5 minutes later would come like 4 different scenes back that would just fill all the gaps. And we worked right through the script that way, and it was really fun. And the way it came together so strongly was because he was putting all that great mortar in.
Cool.
I look at it like a movie. I mean, for me, my hero growing up in the comics field was Will Eisner, who my dad was even into. I can remember as a kid, my dad saying, "You've got to see this," and presenting me with old spirits. And Eisner's stuff was very, very, very cinematic. He cut his panels. He told his story in a really cinematic way. So, I was looking at it like a film.
Yeah. And you guys dedicated the book to Jack Kirby.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up with Jack Kirby. We all did, and his awesomeness is beyond legendary. It was just fundamental. The great, people have sung his praises. He has been acknowledged, but never enough. Never enough.
Yeah, very cool. So, Harvey Pekar, Jack Kirby, Eisner. What are some of your other comics that you loved growing up or enjoy today?
I liked all the pre-com. I was obsessed with pre-comics code EC stuff. Wally Wood, Jack Davis, Harvey Kurtzman, Jim Steranko, mid-'60s Jim Steranko, Barry Smith, Neil Adams. The first Neil Adams Batmans were so great. And then
Batman, right?
dark, conflicted. Seriously, Batman with problems. That was really welcome. And then the underground guys just totally, like I said, blew my mind. Art Crumb was a hero to me. S. Clay Wilson, Spain Rodriguez, guys like that. Who were you really crazy for?
As a kid, I loved Dondi. And Sundays I couldn't wait to get it. But geez, I love Mazzucchelli and I love Straight Bullets, and I worked at DC, and I was just blown away every day. I just loved so much stuff, and it would just come across your desk, and it was an amazing experience to be there and to be in that atmosphere. And Tony was talking about Will Eisner, walking downstairs and seeing guys like Joe Orlando and stuff like that. And, I was just talking to my wife about it today. All those old guys were still there, and you're just like, oh God, you're so lucky to be there.
Very cool. So, stepping a little away from comics, one of our favorite things to do here at San Diego for the Comic-Con is to eat. Mm-hmm. And you have some experience with that, so I was wondering what some of your favorite spots in San Diego to eat at are?
Listen, no disrespect to San Diego, but the best thing about San Diego cuisine and gastronomic scene is Mexico's right over there. And Mexico is awesome, and particularly what's happening in Baja is an absolute culinary revolution. I've seriously suggested that it will inevitably be the new Tuscany. All of the bad things that have been happening down there, all of the problems have changed the whole dynamic so that they're cooking for themselves, and they've created a whole culinary scene down there that's unsung and spectacular. So Tijuana and Ensenada, if I had the time, I would be headed south now.
Yeah. All right, good advice then. I'll go rent a car and head to Tijuana.
San Diego Comic-Con coverage is brought to you by Seagate.
The Seagate GoFlex satellite hard drive. We want to thank Seagate for sponsoring all of our San Diego coverage. This little device can hold all your movies, music, media, stream it wirelessly via Wi-Fi to your iPad or your Android tablet.
You just tuck it in the bag.
You just tuck it in your pocket and you carry around your tablet and you can stream it. Totally easy using the free GoFlex satellite app. So go to Seagate.com/iFanboy. Get 10% off the GoFlex satellite external hard drive. Thank you to Seagate.
Do I get one of those?
No, you don't.
Gotta serve